Brodes Media.
That was not what I expected on the night where Joel Embiid wins MVP. He's crying with his son in his arms. He has such a huge smile on his face when having the trophy in his hands. The place was on fire. I thought that would build into some sort of momentum. And then as soon as the game started, here's Boston making a ton of shots. Now, the Sixers, to their credit, early on I'm speaking, did crawl back. And at some point I thought had a shot until James Harden sucked the life out of the entire building. He couldn't buy a damn shot, and he's the number one reason why you fell in Game 3. Now, I do want to note that I am not ruling them out. I'm not saying it's over. I am not giving up. I projected 2-2 heading back to Boston. So there's still a path for that to be real. You go down 3-1 going back to Boston, then it's a whole nother conversation. Think about how they actually made it a possible chance. 6-point game, 4-point game. They had no business. Imagine if James Harden had a D- game instead of an F- game. You could have pulled that out of your ass. Never thought there'd be a day where I was begging for a D- game because he was that pathetic. But he was that pathetic. I don't care what the final box score says. My box score says he made one shot all game. There's a ton of stats that will tell you that this was going to be the case, considering at his age, with not having a lot of time off in between games, this is what you get. You had no chance when you got James Ben Simmons Harden. And I'm not even pretending like it sort of looked like Ben Simmons. No, it actually did. When he was going to the rack, he had no idea what he wanted to do with the basketball. He lacked confidence. Not lacking confidence shooting because, he'll be willing. He'd shoot it if he wanted to. He actually killed what I thought was one of their final last attempts of actually stealing this thing, because he wants to take a three that, that's right, didn't go in. Because in my box score, none of them went in, except for one. Maxey was awful too. I don't want to go without saying credit to Boston's defense. There's a correlation with why we were worried about Tyrese Maxey in this matchup and why this matchup gives him so many problems. They do have length. They do make it difficult for you. And when it's Joel Embiid versus Boston, you're playing 1 versus 5 essentially. That's unfair to DeAnthony Melton, because I thought DeAnthony Melton played with his heart. And PJ Tucker did hit a couple of threes. But from a more broad sense, it was Joel Embiid versus the world. So when they throw 3 guys in his direction, well, okay. What do you guys want to rely on tonight? Because James isn't there, so, that's right. The best time our offense looked outside of a Joel Embiid possession was George Niang driving to the basket. Do you want to know how many games you are going to win when that's what looks best outside of Joel Embiid? 0. I don't even think you beat the process Sixers with that. Oh, man, what a mess. The loose balls go to who? Oh, that's right, the Boston Celtics again. Oh, here's an offensive rebound. Here's Al Horford. Man, that fucking three pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was pissed when Al Horford hit that three. Pissed! And I'm pissed even thinking about it now, because I can't stand looking at that fool. He is such a fraud. But of course, he hits one of the biggest shots of the game. This isn't on Doc Rivers. I'm sure there's some thinking, Brodes, you were talking all that smack about coaching. I thought the way Joe Mazzulla handled Joel Embiid today was good. It was good. I thought they had a good game plan against Joel Embiid. So credit to Joe Mazzulla. But what really happened here was one of your best players couldn't do anything and then froze mid-game. Forgot how to play mid-game. You were never going to win this series with that being the case. For years and years and years now, you get carried by how far your superstar talent can carry you. I can already hear the response. James Harden's not a superstar, Brodes. Well, he did score 45 points and win you game one. It's in there. He's not as consistent as he once was. That's why Steph Curry deserves a ton of credit, because at his age, taking 1 billion jump shots a season, you would think at some point, here's Father Time knocking on the door saying, I'm coming to get you. I don't know how his body isn't shot yet. When I'm watching jump shots from James Harden hit the front rim, clearly nothing left in there. If he doesn't get a couple days in between games. That's why you lost, though. It's not Doc's fault. You can't do anything with this. You lost because of James Harden and Tyrese Maxey. You lost because your players didn't even show up. Two very important starters. I felt bad for Joel Embiid because Boston could smell it and then decided to make it even that much harder for the big fella. It's easy to get up into his grill. It's easy when he gets the ball with his back to the basket to throw a second guy underneath and try and snag a steal when he had the ball, I'm saying, on the backside and poke it from behind. Jason Tatum steals it easily. Because who are you afraid of? Okay, maybe P.J. Tucker hit a couple threes, but if you're on that Celtics bench, you'll ask him to do it again. Prove it more. You haven't done it enough for me to actually be convinced. Do it again, then fine. Tyrese, okay. You want to take some shots? We'll dare you to. And he took some of those. And I'm sure Boston is smiling happily. Not scared. There's only one player to be feared of at this moment, and that's Joel.